All right, ladies, gentlemen, it is Chair League. We're back. We're back after a 2-week hiatus here, and with me, as always, is my co-caster, New Type. How you doing, New Type?
I'm doing just fine, Synth. We've got ourselves the quarterfinals of the Chair League playoffs for Season 3 here. Or I guess it's technically Season 2. Season 1, 2, yeah, 3. But it is going to be an interesting match here. We've got Heroes of the Frat versus MMR Hell. Both teams from Division 3. Heroes of the Frat, the number 1 seed. MMR Hell, the number 9 seed. And they are one of 4 games that are going on here tonight in the quarterfinals of the Division 3 playoffs.
Absolutely. And it's going to be an exciting first match here. We're going to be seeing Battlefield of Eternity as our first map selection.
That's a pretty volatile first map pick.
Oh, absolutely.
You typically, you see a lot of folks sort of favor, kind of a casual map, something that they're not too uncertain with. I
see you casually pouring your beer there.
Oh, absolutely. I've got to break in my brand new, 2016 10th anniversary BlizzCon beer stein available.
Oh, baby.
Loot box.
Yeah.
And tonight we're drinking Bell's Best Brown Ale from Comstock, Michigan. It has an owl on it, so you know it's good. So I'm surprised. Battlefield of Eternity is kind of a volatile map. It's it's a map where you can really easily win or lose it in the draft. And you can kind of run away with this map if things get out of control too quickly. And like I said, I'm surprised that most teams kind of pick a slower map, kind of get a feel for what they're working with, who they're playing against. And
well, has MMR Hell played against Heroes of the Frat?
I'd have to check their match history, and to be completely honest, I am not certain. I did not see anything just at a casual glance, but
a cursory glance did not reveal.
No, it did not.
Was that a D20 roll check?
No, unfortunately. No,
it was a D4 roll.
It was a D4 roll,
and you came up failure.
So let me see.
Oh, no D4. Oh, sorry. Anyway, we have our lobby ready to go. Let's see here. What's the T minus 2 minutes here? You know what? We could probably at least get some of the stuff set up here.
So talking just a little bit about these teams and their road through the playoffs here. Heroes of the Frat went 7-1 through Season 3, an absolutely just blockbuster season for them.
Wow.
Securing themselves that first seed in the playoffs. They picked up their first win against Territorial Pissing last week, winning on Warhead Junction and on Infernal Shrines. And taking that series pretty handily, 2-0. MMR Hell is a different story. They went 4-2 in Season 3, so they had a solid season, but not a perfect one. And they came into the playoffs as the 9th seed, winning last week against Die for Vision. They instead went to Cursed Hollow, but also battled on Infernal Shrines in their second map, taking both of those matches. So both teams experienced and solid on Infernal Shrines. I'm wondering if they'll come to a loggerhead at that map and see if it comes down to that. What are you thinking, Synth?
Yeah, I mean, Infernal Shrine's definitely a favored map pick from a lot of teams, pro and non. It is very much a figured out map at this point, and the drafts are almost predictable, which means it's a battle of skill for sure. I mean, I feel like that is a valid way to measure, people whenever you actually have, between the drafts and the actual play skill. Like when you figure out the entirety of a map, you can't claim that you're using some lesser known map mechanic.
Yeah, and there's no like goofy unknown strategy that you're not busting out. Like this is you're not slipping on a banana peel in Infernal Shrines. You're going the 12 rounds.
Yep, exactly. So let's get our draft going here. I'm going to go ahead and start it. We are at time. So excuse me for a moment while I do the technicals.
And while he's doing the technicals, let's talk about this. This beer. Let's talk about the recent changes that have come about in the game here. We saw a balance patch go through today, affecting a number of heroes, but most notably Samuro, who received a handful of nerfs to help nudge him down into potentially below 60% win rate range. We'll see how that pans out over the week. We also saw a change to Vala's multi-shot build, and I'm curious to see if that will actually get any traction here tonight. That change possibly nudging people to a more auto attack or Q favored build. I don't think it will. I think it's just going to bring her numbers down, make her maybe a little less competitive in the drafts. But you did see many people start taking Death Dealer at 7 as opposed to the other multi-shot builds. So some of Vala's build synergies are starting to get found out, and it's starting to get really interesting seeing people play with things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we're going to switch over to the Observer page here, and we should see ourselves a draft very shortly, and it has started. So bans. Let's talk about bans.
Yeah, they're super fast. So Battlefield of Eternity is you've got to be cognizant of the DPS race, and you've got to be cognizant of that Immortal. Mm-hmm. Sylvanas is a definite pickup or ban early on this map. I feel that after she hits level 7 and she starts getting that extra damage versus non-heroes on her W, she can absolutely run away with the Immortal. And we see Zarya banned. I like Zarya getting banned on this map. She's got also a solid DPS, and her ability to cut off those choke points with her ultimate is a very narrow set of corridors in the center of this map. I think it's overall a good choice from Heroes of the Frat. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Zarya is a good ban. I wonder if Malfurion's going to get banned here just as a as a consistent
as a throwback to patches of recent times.
Yeah,
not sure. I would be very much surprised if Sylvanas made it through the first sort of pick phase and into the ban.
The thing is, to pick Sylvanas, you have to be confident that banned. That you have to be confident that you're going to win the objectives. She's a liability if you can't win any of the objectives. So it's a make or break pick. So and Malfurion first pick, go figure, right?
Yeah, Malfurion, dude's so good. It's so funny because you rewind the meta back like 4 months, and Malfurion is dumpster tier on fire behind like the 7-Eleven. Like people forgot he was in the game. So seeing him at first pick in like BlizzCon is hilarious to me.
So and talk about first pick. Yeah, Greymane, welcome back.
Welcome back. Greymane, this is like his map, dude. His auto attack damage is so obscene that leaving Greymane alone on the Immortal just to chunk it while the rest of your team does work is actually a valid strategy. But Heroes of the Frat, not to be outdone potentially in the DPS department, pick up Tyrande. She's going to be going for a more aggressive, DPS-centric build. And, that Hunter's Mark on the Immortal is something you can't ignore. And they've also locked in Muradin, so not a lot of, choke lines for MMR Hell here.
Yeah, Muradin's great against Greymane. I mean, he has really solidified himself as a anti auto attacker, and Greymane does a fair amount of his damage via auto attacks. So I think that's targeted specifically at Greymane. Besides the fact that he's also a very good tank all around. But the Malfurion Tyrande pairing, besides being husband and wife, apparently, do you think that one of them is going to go DPS?
I think so.
Do you think both will go DPS?
That's tough. I mean, the thing about Malf is a lot of his heals are still pretty decent. And, Greymane has obscene auto attacks, but Malfurion may be looking for Twilight Dream on some of the other members of MMR Hell. So we do see the second set of bans come through. We see Lunara and Uther banned. Uther banned by Heroes of the Frat, looking to deny a potential, divine shielded Greymane in the back line. I mean, there's very poor mobility on the healers on the support line of Heroes of the Frat, and Greymane would have an absolute picnic with them if uninhibited. ETC is picked up by MMR Hell.
Oh, so good.
Their draft is looking really strong right now. They have the enhanced auto attack speed from ETC to help buff the Greymane, and Zagara to round out with, as a single lane, as a solo laner, and with that extra DPS onto the Immortal. I'm really liking MMR Hell's draft right now if they have the means to actually stick to the opposing enemy Immortal.
Absolutely.
Yeah. How does Heroes of the Frat recalibrate their draft here? Because I feel like they've really got to make a splash with their damage dealers here.
I mean, Cho'Gall?
What's wrong with you, boy?
What? I mean, they have 2 last picks here. This is right?
I have not had nearly enough yet to acknowledge that decision. I'm
sorry.
out of hard liquor. I drank it all 2 nights ago.
Oh, I'm sorry. I saw Super Jova in the chat, so I had to call out Cho'Gall.
Cho'Gall, maybe. Vala is picked up by Heroes of the Frat.
No Cho'Gall.
So, no Cho'Gall. Boo, boo, imba. And Artanis. Okay, so Artanis with the amateur opponent can actually do an obscene amount of damage to the Immortal. I actually played a game on the PTR where I did, I think, 62% of my team's Immortal damage on Artanis. I got the little icon at the end of the game. But, okay, so Heroes of the Frat have actually picked up 2 good, solid, reliable damage dealers. That, combined with Tyranda's Mark, should help them with keeping up with MMR Hell.
Yeah.
However, I got to say, I'm a little bit worried about their backline being vulnerable to Greymane, but with Muradin and Artanis on the front line, Li Ming's going to have a lot of difficulty landing shots to get kills. She's not going to be bursting Muradin down. She's not going to be bursting Artanis down either. And, that's going to be a big component of these team fights. Can MMR Hell get the finishers on somebody here? And Rhaegar's picked up to finish things off for MMR Hell. So, Heroes of the Frat, our top-seeded team, going with a double support team on Battlefield of Eternity, with MMR Hell going for a more traditional 1-1-3 with 1 tank, 1 healer, and 3 damage.
3 pretty significant damage. I mean,
significant damage. I mean, I'd say every single one of them is probably, you don't get much better auto attacks than Greymane. You get, Butcher. You got a couple, really, competitive, heroes, but Greymane's got a crazy single target auto attack damage. Li Ming, crazy single target spell damage. Zagara, probably, still a very competitive solo laner. And who is Heroes of the Frat going to put up against her? Is it going to be Artanis? Is it going to be Vala? That lane's going to get pressured, and it's going to have problems.
Yeah, and we just lost half our lobby here.
Oh, they're gone.
And it's gone.
MMR Hell getting the draft piecing entirely from our lobby. But no, hey, they're coming back.
Well, that was weird. Okay, technical difficulties.
That was very interesting. No, this is next level strats right here, Sen. This is next level. So no, you show up late. You throw the enemy team off kilter. You get them all thinking like, oh, why did they leave? Oh, what are they doing? Oh, they're thinking. Now you're in their heads. You're in their heads. MMR Hell with the next level mind games by leaving the game entirely.
All right,
there we go. They're all back. They're all back.
Let's try this again. Alrighty. So who do you think won the draft there? I think personally, MMR Hell did a great job banning out Lunara, banning out Sylvanas if they weren't going to play her, and picking up some serious damage. The Li Ming resets are very significant in this meta, I feel.
I'm gonna be real here. I think Heroes of the Frat has a stronger composition overall, simply because Malfurion and Tyrande are going to be able to keep the damage target alive.
Fair enough.
They're going to be able to keep the damage target alive. If Greymane or Li Ming go on to somebody, they're going to be able to keep them alive. And it's likely going to have to be Artanis or Muradin, because Vala should be in the back line, consistently away from the damage dealers of MMR Hell.
Yeah, you have a very good point.
You couple that with Artanis and Valo working over the Immortal, and Tyrande with the Hunter's Mark. I think they've got a competitive race. I think Heroes of the Frat has a very solid draft here. Muradin and Artanis are not going to go down easy. They're sponges, man. Whereas MMR Hell, they've got the better damage, but are they going to be able to use it optimally? That's going to be the story of this match.
Absolutely. So, as with always, we'll start off with introductions here.
Naturally. So in the left corner here, wearing the blue trunks, we've got Heroes of the Frat. We've got Kyle C. Rat on Vala. We've got Marvin on Muradin, Satat on Artanis, Berticus on Tyrande, and Balanan on Malfurion. And in the red corner, wearing the red trunks, we got Team MMR Hell. We've got Red Conscript on the Greymane, Brooklyn Bum on Zagara, B Mills on Li Ming, Blue Nichols on Rhaegar, and Z Mexican on ETC.
And the mount synergy on the side of Heroes of the Frat is fantastic, by the way. The color
MMR Hell as well, it looks like.
Oh,
Brooklyn
but Zagara,
Bum, however, caught completely out and is absolutely blown up in the bot lane here. An easy early pickup for Heroes of the Frat. And, something I didn't even get a chance to really go into in their composition is how much lockdown potential they have on a theoretical jump in. So if Greymane goes in, he's got to contend with Muradin's stun. He's got to contend with maybe Rain of Vengeance. He's got to contend with Malfaroot's, Lunara's stun, or no Lunara, Tyranda's stun. Like there's a lot of lockdown here that could really spell disaster for MMR Hell's sort of divey members, the pokey, squishy members of their team.
But I do want to point out MMR Hell got Colosso Totem. That's lockdown as well. That's a lot of lockdown. Plus the block party to try to lower the amount of damage from Vala and Artanis.
Block party could be a serious issue for Artanis in the late game. Nice slide out from the Mexican, keeping things safe from that Tyrande stun there. And we dance. Brooklyn Bum matched up against Balanan in the bot lane here. They gotta be feeling good. That initial pickoff is exactly ideal, but Malfurion's going to be in serious trouble keeping up with a Zagara if that lane is played appropriately.
Yeah, and we're gonna switch over to a different voice client here because you're.
I'm doing the cut.
Not really a full cut, but it's starting to come down. We'll pick a little less exciting time to do that though, with Vala going down from a lot of damage, but. To be fair, though, this first Immortal isn't going to be all that impactful, especially if they take it down very quickly. It's not a lot of...
they trade the Greymane, too. So, it's 1-for-1. I'm going to swap over real quick here while they're working the Immortals here.
Absolutely. Don't forget to mute Skype. All right, and that little quick switch over there should hopefully not impact our stream much. We were trying out Skype.
In the chat if you can't hear us.
Yeah.
So both teams fairly even. Slight edge right now to let's see. Right, slight edge to MMR Hell it looks like, and
wow, that is very even. 400.
Very even.
448. What a race. And both teams almost at the exact same time hit level 4 as well. So. These teams are running really even here, but Zagara has gotten a lot of her spread going here, and although a bit of it's going to be cleared at this particular phase.
Yeah, but another thing, with the double support that Heroes of the Frat is running, they can still afford to, put a support in the bot lane here. And this Immortal is just going to tickle that front wall with no further effect. Z Mexican gets flipped by Artanis, but does manage to bail out there easily. And, fairly, inconsequential Immortal. Nothing to write home about.
It was actually the Hunter's Mark that really helped in that one. They really balanced out the Hunter's Mark and took down the Immortal very quickly. But, oh my gosh, Z Mexican getting really low and going down right now with Artanis also being taken down. Marvin's
Conscript will not be denied. He answers right back with a kill in the bot lane.
That is
both tanks.
Yeah, 1 for 2 there. Oh yeah, you know what? That's a dual support. That's technically a dual support, dual warrior comp. I keep forgetting Artanis is technically a warrior. He feels like Blizz, please. We need to talk about these classifications here. Absolutely. So here's a question for you. Maw on Zagaro at 10?
I think so.
Yeah.
Against two very impactful, beefy melee, you definitely take Maw in this situation. Let's take a gander at these talents. We're seeing Perfect Storm and Sledgehammer from Muradin going a Q build.
That is very interesting, yeah.
Instead of sort of the trademarked Muradin
Third wind.
play. Yeah, no third wind. We're seeing Creed of the Hunter full auto attack build as well from Vala. These guys are really working some interesting talents, some unusual off-meta talents into their builds.
Yeah, loudspeakers makes a lot of sense for such a high melee, especially getting Artanis off you. Loudspeakers is vital for zoning in these situations. Echo Pedal being picked up, that's going to be soon. Oh no!
By that great play from Artanis. Phase Prism lands on the Rhaegar. Follow up immediately from Burdicus on the Tyrande stun, and that is one dead Dogi.
Yep, and that is terrible timing on the
MMR Hell.
Yeah, that is terrible timing from MMR Hell here, or very unfortunate timing rather. They are down 2 for this Immortal phase, but thankfully there is a halftime show, and you know, Beyonce will sing, and we will have you know, the second half to actually finish off the fight.
How do we get Beyonce?
I don't know. I was watching Doctor Strange yesterday.
Man.
Sorry,
This is a high production value show. We got Beyonce. Jeez. All right. All members of MMR Hell are up, and they are defending right now. Look for some poke from Conscript and from B-Mills to try and chunk out some members of Heroes of the Frat. Mexican making it out of the bot lane there.
Yeah, you have to watch for those roots. Those roots are going to be very deadly once you, especially at the higher levels. If you get rooted, you are in trouble. So we are definitely going to be seeing cleanse coming out from Rhaegar. Yeah, absolutely.
Yep, and cleanse on Malfurion as well, freeing up Tyrande to take the Lunar Blaze at 7.
Lunar Blaze is so good. But yeah, the Echo Pedal might not have been ideal in this.
Big damage going in, double kill from the Li Ming. Down Muradin and Vala.
But Li Ming is Li Ming is
or she would have had a picnic if she had more mana. Holy cow.
Absolutely, but Artanis is going to go down as well.
Yeah, Sad Hat has no way out either, but that was what they needed. They got the pick in the back line. Muradin was just not beefy enough on the front line there. And they picked up the Vala as well on the side. Vala switching over into multi-shot build at level 7, taking Arsenal. And curious how this is going to play out, what this final Vala build is going to look like. And Muradin going further into Hammer build with Piercing Bolt at 7 here. I
mean, are we going to see... we see like the dual warrior, so they both go bruiser in this particular comp.
Maybe we might see like give them the axe. This could be fun.
Yeah, this definitely it's looking like a very interesting build, and I'm excited to see what's gonna happen here. It's
coming down to the wire yet again. Both teams within 1,000 HP of each other on the Immortal. It's only a handful of attacks.
B-Mills. Oh, great juke there for the Lunar Flare.
Excellent work. Yeah.
But. B-Mills is being targeted a little bit, and ETC is doing his best job to zone for the team, but he is running a little bit low on mana.
Pull on Red Conscript, though, pulling him into the back line, but no follow-up.
Marvin getting so low.
Zatat goes down. Marvin also very hurt. The members of Heroes of the Frat have got to retreat. Vala brought down as well, and it looks like this Immortal is going to go to MMR Hell with that damage. They got so much damage. They pulled Red Conscript into their whole team, and I thought that was it. I thought the Fat Lady had sung for.
He's still there.
He's still there, and the damage got put out into the right places. They brought down the right members, and they got themselves Immortal.
Absolutely.
Not a huge amount of shields left on this thing, but we're seeing level 10 picked up now by MMR Hell, and we're seeing the usual suspects: Ancestral Healing, Wave of Force. We're seeing Devouring Maw, as we sort of hinted at earlier, and Go for the Throat. Stage Dive now picked up by ETC, working that new age ETC meta into this match here.
Yeah, I would have liked to see Mosh on this one, because Mosh has so much potential right in these phases right here, and really...
Well, they catch the Tyrande here, slowing them down for Conscript to get the final pick.
Oh, and, that's true.
That's another kill on Vala there.
There's a lot of resets coming in out of MMR Hell. I mean, between Go for the Throat and Li Ming's resets, it is just you know, if one person goes down, all of them go down, and so they really got to focus on their front line and their healing as well. Do you think we're going to see Tranquility come out because of this? Because you know, Tyrannus is good, but it's not as good as.
Yeah, you got to. So Tranquility is taken, and I feel like Tyrannus has to go with the Starfall. Yeah, there it is.
There it is. Okay.
And Suppression Pulse from the Artanis is going to help out substantially with all this Greymane damage. I'd almost like to see Suppression Pulse used aggressively on the Immortal fights.
Oh, absolutely.
To deny them, just to deny them 5 seconds of Immortal damage, or 4 seconds, excuse me.
I mean, you got Rhaegar, you got ETC, you got Greymane all doing auto attack damage. So yeah, that would be very significant in terms of an AoE blind.
Cooldown ain't that huge. It's 50 seconds. It's noticeable, but it's not the end of the world. So both teams, you know, kind of in a bit of a looking to get more. Both teams right now are looking to get more XP. MMR Hell wants 13 before the next Immortal phase, and it's very likely they're going to get it. Here's where the Frat wants to deny them that as much as possible.
And they're very smart. They're rolling as a 5. MMR Hell is a little bit ahead. They're definitely, you know, being a little more conservative in their 4-1 split here. But if I was Heroes of the Flat, I would be rolling as a 5 as well, just to be a little bit safer. But they're going to leave 2 up in top here. They didn't really see the other team. I mean, that's the problem.
2 mobile, hard-to-kill heroes. Like, Malfurion has roots. He can bail himself out of sticky situations, and he's got his own healing. Murden is hard to kill, too, so the 4-man at top has not a huge chance of killing them.
That's true.
You see the Bruiser camp picked up. The Fallen Shamans start rolling 4 Heroes of the Frat. And the Bruiser Camp for MMR Hell just now coming online if they want to go for that.
But Red Conscript caught out a little bit. Oh my gosh.
They're going after Conscript. Conscript gets nailed. A beautiful Ancestral Healing, though, comes in to save the day as Conscript does live to bite another day. And a nice Moth isolates the Artanis. Vala going down as well as that great engagement from Heroes of the Frat gets turned upside down. And it is they who are going to have to retreat. Yeah,
Artanis, had he hit that swap, would have absolutely survived there, but unfortunately he missed it by inches. And now Heroes of the Frat is in full retreat. But like I said, you know, halftime show will be coming out soon. This time around, with the 10 seconds remaining on Artanis's death timer, I don't think we're going to see Heroes of the Frat coming quite back. I think this is... Oh, actually, the positioning might enable... No, never mind. Yeah, we'll see.
They want blood here, as the other 2 members of the team are just starting to filter in now.
Well, you know, all the alts are down for MMR Hell, whereas there's still a few alts remaining on Heroes of the Frat side, and everyone is back up.
Vala still has a charge of Rain of Vengeance, and yeah, they're going to have Avatar on Murden relatively soon here. Go for the Throat coming online for Greymane, though, so we'll have to see, you know, what they can do with that. Red Conscript has been just absolutely unkillable in this game. You know, falling just once there early on, but otherwise being just completely untouchable in these large-scale team fights. Nice blind coming out from Artanis. They do manage to get most of MMR Hell there, as both teams push for damage here. Marvin taking a lot, has to throw costs out, as Satat also taking too much damage, gets followed up by Conscript. Red Conscript with a kill, dropping Artanis, and you know, here we go. It is MMR Hell who wins the Immortal race, and it's going to be pushing top lane now.
Vala has to get out of there, though. Vala is way too deep here. You know, she's overstayed her.
Vala.
Yeah, she overstayed her welcome.
Dead Vala. And Kyle Cat goes down here. And
Kyle C. Rat. Sorry. Didn't mean to call you out there publicly.
I got called out by my fellow co-caster. No respect. But
sorry.
The Immortal is pushing top lane. It's crushed that fort, knocked down the tower. It's going to be knocking on that keep wall.
Yeah.
And the members of Heroes of the Frat have got to... they've got to, you know, consolidate. They're behind a talent tier. They're potentially going to be behind 2 talent tiers here if this Immortal gets enough work done. And, you know, they are just laying it out right now, MMR Hell is, as this Immortal with about half of its HP is starting to work over this keep. Level 16, an inch away.
Oh, and that Maw. That Maw was a great Maw. It took out
the Maw.
Yeah.
That's the Maw that you want. Both of those heavy frontliners just completely taken out of the fight.
And you get to that squishy back line.
Squishy.
But they did not take advantage of that. Following the age-old lesson of do not fight under the towers, hashtag. So, yeah, that was smart. I feel like that was a conservative retreat, and they can now regroup, get some merc camps, and basically try to take the next engagement very, very convincingly.
Yeah. If you've won the day, don't overstay.
That's a great rhyme right there.
Yeah. Don't, like, I literally just made that up.
Really?
I wanted to say that as soon as they start walking away from the keep.
Oh man, that was good.
But yeah,
Props.
if you win the day, don't overstay.
Oh.
Just be happy with it and go home.
All right.
That was a considerably less impressive axiom there. But let's talk about Heroes of the Frat. They are, you know, pushing their way up. They're still 2 levels behind now. They are just
one talent tier.
Yeah, they're hankering for that talent tier. I'm gonna take a quick peek at the talents here, see if there's anything that's got me gonna rile me up here.
I mean, protective coating on Zagara with the Mutalisk. That's interesting. It's not the health transfer one.
It's pretty standard to go protective coating.
Well, I mean, on this particular map, your creep is cleared by the Immortal during the pushes, and so it might be questionable, and especially since Heroes of the Frat is doing a very good job of clearing the creep as well.
Yeah, but we got a scrap right now. Valenine has got to hustle around. He's actually behind enemy lines, running away with Tranquility.
Oh, and Greymane
escapes. Red Conscript is instead the in danger, does not get the Ancestral, and this is the fight that Heroes of the Frat wanted. They took the talent tier down and got 2 for nothing. As the members of MMR Hell are running for their lives. Z-Mexican barely making it out. But it looks like Bala will not be denied, as it's a 3 for nothing. A root on Blue Nickels now may seal the deal for a 4.
No.
And
wow.
B-Mail's going to make it out. B-Mail's might not even make it out.
B-Mail's a zoom. That is dangerous. And with Balan and Balan, or whatever.
He did.
Oh! It was a trade.
From Hell's heart, I stab at thee.
Oh man!
With the last gasp, B-Mills on the Li Ming, taking Malfurion down with him, making this a considerably more acceptable trade. But that was absolutely the fight that Heroes of the Frat needed. They got themselves up to 16. They're on an even talent tier. They're chunking down MMR Hell's Immortal. They're finally getting back into the game, which is just what they needed to do.
Yeah, when you're behind like that, trading evenly is actually beneficial because you get more XP per kill. And so you actually come out ahead during those phases, and as such, you can see that they're on even talent tiers now. So this was absolutely beneficial for Heroes of the Frat. Taking it 1 level behind was very dangerous, but it paid off in this particular instance. And Red Conscript not able to finish off Malfurion. Yeah,
that
really
was huge. That was so huge, and that is a Immortal.
That's a full shield Immortal.
Full shield Immortal for Heroes of the Frat.
This is
needed.
This is a new game now. We just reset right now.
We got ourselves a match here, Synth.
Oh boy.
Snap. But,
baby.
But yeah, this could, if it's angry enough, if it channels its Bruce Banner, this Immortal could go to the keep wall. We'll just have to see how MMR Hell reacts, how much damage they're able to put out, and if they can get any lucky picks. Kyle C. Rat taking a nice Li Ming orb. Not comfortable, not cozy, but
did Li Ming take Glass Cannon? Yes, she did.
Yeah, she's hankering for that damage. Z-Mexican taking a lot of heat, gets the Ancestral, and is ready to go right back in. And a great switch onto Red Constrict, but he just manages to jump right out. He does not care. Great slide from Z-Mexican catching 3 members, but there's a lot of damage going in onto the red team. MMR Hell retreating in front of this Immortal as the ETC goes down. All ults have been used for Heroes of the Frat, though, and MMR Hell still sitting on a handful here. They're waiting for the right opportunity to engage. I feel like they needed to use them when ETC got caught there.
Yeah, although...
or ETC with the stage dive out of the engagement, or something like that to stay alive.
Yeah.
30 seconds here could be the end of the game. This Immortal is not slowing down. This Immortal has gotten the top keep.
Oh no! And Red Conscript.
Red Conscript is down. Like, this is actually like game-ending potential right here.
Yeah, half health Immortal, 18-19. This is really dangerous, and it was especially Heroes of the Frat using their using their heroics on cooldown at this point, just really trying to chunk down the core. And this actually might.
Gonna get Li Ming. This is game.
Oh wow!
Heroes of the Frat.
What a comeback!
Absolutely devastating turnaround here. As with that one late game Immortal, they're able to swing this game completely. And you know what, Synth? The moment this game turned around, was that Malfurion sneaking away in that team fight.
Absolutely.
Malfurion goes down there. He can't keep his team up. That team fight is so much more even. And, oh my gosh, wow.
Holy crap.
That was one heck of a game one, as Heroes of the Frat pulling it off in the late game here. Look, I mean, the kill discrepancy, 18-12, close but still in favor of MMR Hell. I mean, the level discrepancy. Only at the very end of the game did Heroes of the Frat manage to come back. They were 2 talent tiers down at one point, Synth. Like, they came back from a 2 talent tier deficit. That was unreal. Excellent work from Heroes of the Frat. And MMR Hell has got they've got to huddle up. They've got to look at what they can do in this next game, because Heroes of the Frat morale has got to be high following that win.
Yeah, I apologize. I just noticed that the chat had some messages about your voice.
My audio is so bad. It's
no,
bad.
it was because that was my fault. I needed to readjust your volume level.
Oh,
so,
you muted me.
No,
yeah,
I didn't.
This is twice you've betrayed me today, Sam. There will not be a third time.
The threat heard.
Oh
okay.
No.
Yeah.
But,
so what a comeback out of Heroes of the Frat. They started off with seemingly behind almost to a 2-tier talent deficit, and just like that, you come from behind at 15, taking a 3-on-5. No, I'm sorry, taking a 5-on-5, but with talent tier disadvantage.
Yeah, they took a 5-on-5 with a talent tier disadvantage. They got 2 miraculous picks early in the match, or early in that fight. Their supports managed to survive, which I think really made a huge difference in that long-term fight. They lost their tanks, but they kept Vala, which was critical. Yeah, and were able to bring down the Immortal. And I think that moment was one key moment, and the second was losing ETC with stage dive still up at the falling of that top fort. The top fort falls. ETC gets a power slide through 3 members of Heroes of the Frat. And they immediately focus him down. Immediately just start wailing on him. And ETC evaporates. You're now on a 60-second death timer. And your team has 0 frontline. I mean, look at how squishy the members of MMR Hell are. They've got 0 frontline now. And, Heroes of the Frat, playing the long game here. Whether you call it serendipity, whether you call it skill, whatever you want to chalk it up to, they managed to swing this game into their favor and eke out the win at 19 minutes here.
Absolutely. That was a great game. Great come from behind. No comeback mechanics. 6 out of 10, right? Yeah.
6.5 out of 10.
6.5.
This game.
Yeah, that game. So, we're gonna see if you were paying attention to the lobby chat there. The next map is gonna be Infernal Shrines. We called that one pretty early.
Yeah.
Good job, new type.
I mean, Infernal Shrines is like. This map is like. I'm trying to think of a decent analogy for this. This map is like the Ford F-150 of maps. It's probably about as vanilla as you can get. Everybody kind of likes it. It's pretty fairly balanced, but man, it's just everywhere. It's everywhere. Everybody uses this map. I've gone on more than enough personal tirades about how overplayed I think this map is sometimes, but you can't deny it. It's a pretty fairly balanced map, which if you were here back when it came out is the funniest thing you've ever heard, because when this map first came out, it was a hilarious joke of a map. You were looking at like every game being 8 minutes long. The first Punisher killed keeps.
So Braxis holdout?
Yes. It was everything. So if you're new to the game, everything that you probably hate about Braxis holdout, we hated about Infernal Shrines first. So get out your flannel. We're Heroes hipsters. Deal with it.
Heroes hipsters.
So, yeah. But by some miracle, via balance changes and just how the hero pool has progressed, this map is fairly, it's probably the most balanced map, and it shows. Everyone loves this map.
Oh yeah, it's picked. What was it during BlizzCon?
It was some absurd amount. It was picked in like half of the sets in BlizzCon, which includes best of 3 sets, and like it was very much. Very much, I want to say overplayed at BlizzCon, but it was, really, really played heavily at both. Come on, give me some Braxis holdout. Give me some Warhead Junction.
All right. So we're gonna get this going here very shortly. I'm gonna go ahead and transition this over to the overlay, and then send out the good old captain's notes.
Synth, whose decision was it to go to Shrines? Was this Heroes of the Frat?
Picking team this round was Heroes of the Frat. Absolutely.
They're looking to seal the deal here. Get another 2-0 in the playoffs here, whereas MMR Hell looking to stave off elimination and potentially win the day again. I am out of beer. This makes me sad.
You were not prepared. So as New Type downs the rest of his beer, the draft links have gone out, and we are gonna see a draft very shortly here. So do you think Kerrigan's gonna be banned first or second?
I think Kerrigan is going to be banned second.
Okay.
Because typically you don't ban the most OP hero first. The Sylvanas banned by MMR Hell, and here's the Frat. I mean, maybe they won't ban Kerrigan. Maybe they'll surprise me. Who knows? I mean,
have MMR Hell player.
I mean, they've got to have somebody who's cozy on Kerrigan at level, right off the bat.
Yeah, interesting strat. Let's see how it turns out.
Yeah, it's a bold strategy, Cotton. Giving them Li Ming on Infernal, or giving them Kerrigan on Infernal Shrines.
Yeah, as we all know, Kerrigan was in fact the rise to fame. Her rise to fame was on this map, so she is as powerful as ever. And if they don't ban Kerrigan out here, we may.
I'd be surprised.
Yeah, we would actually have to see perhaps Lili, or they're gonna ban out Malfurion. Okay.
So Malf is banned. MMR Hell. They may not have a Kerrigan player.
No, they don't.
I stand corrected. They have a Kerrigan player. So Kerrigan going to MMR Hell. Now the question that has to be asked is Heroes of the Frat anticipating this?
That's what I was thinking. Like if you
Zool with the lockdown, that great wave clear. I mean, who else would I like to see here to potentially counter Kerrigan? We see Li Ming picked up by Heroes of the Frat. We saw that played excellently by B-Mills in the last game. So taking that away, that might actually be a denial, a respect pick. B-Mills had 9 of the takedowns for MMR Hell on Li Ming last game.
Yeah, I mean,
definitely.
You can definitely tell the Li Ming player is good when they're out of mana at the end of a fight. That's pretty much.
Yeah, it's like 3 kills and I'm out of mana, and there'd be more if I had any more mana. So exactly. Jaina Muradin picked up by MMR Hell. Jaina I like so far.
Oh, definitely.
Against this. Zool with minimal ranged attacks.
You know what this frees up?
Very squishy.
This frees up Kerrigan and Jaina to rotate between clearing the objective or helping out the team. Because the thing about this map is, if you focus solely on clearing the objective, you may be dead within the end of the before you capture the objective. So Jaina and Kerrigan being both excellent at wave clear, this allows them to actually use one of them to perhaps help on the DPS, being an assassin and all. So
Uther banned by Heroes of the Frat again. This is their second time banning Uther, so they definitely have something against this hero. Brightwing banned by MMR Hell to help Kerrigan in tempo. Last thing you want as a Kerrigan player is to go in hard with your Q, separate yourself from the rest of the team,
or use your ult. Use your ult and then get instantly polyed. I mean, like,
oof.
That is
now I am a squirrel.
Yeah, that is probably the worst feeling in the world, where you use all of your cooldowns and then you're polyed. And Illidan is very familiar with that feeling, right?
Oh, man. The 10,000 years of hatred does not compare to the feeling of getting turned into
a squirrel, yeah.
So, here's the Frat thinking on their next two picks here. They've yet to pick a tank and a support. They go with Rhaegar. Again, I feel like this works. You have adequate accessibility to cleanse at level 1, which will help with Muradin and Jaina, and the Kerrigan stun follow up, and you've got a big heal which will help counteract the burst damage of Kerrigan and Jaina. And once they've expended their combos, they're kind of stuck.
Oh, Jaina especially. I mean, she's such a cooldown focused hero.
So I feel like Rhaegar is a good pick here to help keep the combo target up and alive.
Yeah, like no one ever talks about Jaina's auto attacks because
oh my god, it's so bad.
Exactly. So Jaina's definitely a very burst ability damage burst hero, and the Rhaegar definitely the ancestral will come in very handy. I imagine. So
Bala picked up again by Heroes of the Frat. Played pretty well last game by Kyle C. Rat.
You think a Johanna pick on Heroes of the Frat?
I'd like that.
Yeah,
actually, very much so.
This was very good drafting.
ETC is good, but I almost feel like Johanna would be better in this situation.
I agree. So a little hint on the drafting. This is actually extremely good because they've already picked their tank, so they're not going to pick another tank, especially not a solo tank that Heroes of the Frat is going for. So and there's no more bans. They are, they basically have Johanna in the bag. We are back. I had a minor computer issue. Blue screened, like you do. So we are back. I apologize for that ridiculousness here. So let's see here. We ended off with the Thrall pick and Johanna pick.
Johanna pick, as we predicted there. So now we're drinking Lagunitas brown sugar.
And during that little downtime,
during that downtime, I went. I did my civic duty and went and got a beer. But the lobby's still good. The draft is still good. When in doubt, the new type takes over. Look at me. I'm the streamer now. But we're all set here. And we're going to be starting things up momentarily.
Yes. Momentarily. Let me just make sure all my stuff is back up. While this is moving over here. Any additional comments that you said while everything was offline?
I mean, I said some dirty things about you. And,
whoa.
I said some. I said some very vulgar things about. I hate your guts, and
what?
I wish I could get out of here. But aside from that,
hey, shots fired, yo. Alrighty. So
I may or may not have leaked your social and your credit card to the entire audience. So,
Alrighty.
So we talked about that last pick, Johanna, which we expected from Heroes of the Frat, and we got. I honestly, this is a toughie, buddy. Any initial thoughts on the drafts of these two teams? They feel fairly even. I'm a little worried about that Charism pick. I don't think Charism is quite up to snuff just yet. And with Zul in the mix with his attack speed reduction and potentially his heal reduction at level 20, there's a lot that could be done to help screw with Charism heals.
You're absolutely correct. It's hard to say. I feel like Kerrigan does have a leg up, though. I mean, And you know what? Charism does heal as he punches, and there's no shortage of targets for him to punch during the
during the Punisher phase.
Yeah.
So let's talk about these. Let's get right to brass tacks here. In the left corner here, wearing the blue trunks, we got heroes of the Frat. We've got Kyle C. Rat on Vala yet again. We've got Balanan on the Rhaegar in the support role. We got Satat on Zul filling that melee bruiser role yet again. Marvin playing Johanna yet again on that main tank. And Berticus on Li Ming. So on the right-hand corner, coming to the mid lane here, playing for MMR Hell, we've got Z Mexican on Muradin, Blue Nichols on Karazim. We've got B-Mills on Jaina. We've got a Red Conscript on Kerrigan and Brooklyn Bum on the Thrall.
Mm-hmm. I like to see these players representing their classes. That means that they've really identified what they play well, and I'm kind of disappointed we don't see any esports here in the mid.
Nope.
And instead, everyone shifts up to the top. Actually,
yeah, both teams too wily for esports in the mid lane, so they decided to take it elsewhere. B-Mills racing to get some XP in the bot lane. They do get there in time. And the members of Heroes of the Frat, so it looks like, 3 in top. They got Zul rotating through mid and bottom. He's going to be kind of lonely on his own there and dangerous. So if Satat is caught by the 3-man group of Blue Nichols, B-Mills, and Red Conscript, much like Johanna's being caught right now, it could be a disaster, and Johanna is brought down. You've got to respect this gank squad in the mid. With the slows from Jaina and the follow-up from Kerrigan, there is a ton of damage in these two heroes that you've got to deal with. And the 3-man push at top lane, while effective, is just it's not going to pay off in the long run here. They've got to send some people mid and bottom.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. I for a second there, I thought we were seeing Karazim PTR or PTR Karazim.
They're going full ham in this top lane, though. They're sending Marvin on Johanna up here to put huge pressure in on Zemexican and Brooklyn Bum, and just leaving Satat to soak up and clear mid and bottom. This is sort of an interesting kind of inversion of what you typically see, where you have one member in top lane, and then Zul and the other 3 members rotate in bot. Now they have Zul rotating alone, and the 4-man just pushing one lane. But the first shrine is active. It's going to be the bot lane shrine.
Yeah, and you know what's interesting? The XPs are actually almost identical here. Mm-hmm. Even with one death coming out of Johanna.
Mid lane. Pot taking huge damage. He's got to try and get out of there. Manages to escape with 100 hit points, but Red Conscript will not be denied. Leaping in with that Q, confirming the kill. But Brooklyn Bum is hurt and has got to hustle out. Both teams jockeying for position. Zul going to be back in 10 seconds here. And the shrine has not been activated yet. So if Heroes of the Frat buys enough time, this will be another 5-on-5 fight.
Mm-hmm. And actually, Kyle C-Rat not picking a level 4 ability just yet. Do you think he's holding?
They're just going to stall. Zul going to top lane. They are just going to try and make this as miserable as possible for MMR Hell. While Heroes of the Frat gains XP elsewhere. They've got Satat in top lane, just leaning into that for the minions there, soaking that XP. Let's see just how effectively Heroes of the Frat can poke in the bot lane.
Yeah, and Li Ming really showing the power of her triumvirate there, chunking B-Mills for almost like 2/3 of his health with one arcane orb there. So any interesting picks here? Krita the Hunter again out of Vala.
Yeah, very, very committed to the auto attack build. Marvin gets chunked considerably. He's got to pop the Iron Skin to get out. Does manage to do so, just dodging the W. Jaina
and it is
there.
38-18. It looks like MMR Hell is definitely going to pick up this.
At what cost, though? The entire top lane has folded under Satat.
Oh,
He's got the top towers. He's basically gotten the damage that you would expect from an Immortal by himself. So this is a really, really good trade, I feel, for Heroes of the Frat. They're playing the long game here. They're going to burn this Immortal down. And, I mean, Red Conscript's got to find a way out. They've got to... Yeah. And they don't even get the full... They get the tower. They do exactly what Top was able to accomplish in the top lane there. So both teams trading almost identically. Almost a mirror trade there.
Mm-hmm.
As we start to pushing our way to 7 and 10. We saw insight.
Satat was running into a 3-man rotation up to mid there, and he almost revealed himself. He was just on the edge of that smoke there. Had he revealed himself, he would have been instantly dead. But Brooklyn Bum actually trying to catch him.
He's going in. The wolf misses though, and just barely doesn't catch Satat. Oh,
wow, that's some very tense moments right there. But it looks like they're just gonna. Heroes of the Frat is gonna try to do a 4-man rotation bot in mid at this point, with the 3-man gang squad Z Mexican, Red Constrip, and Blue Nickels coming in mid. It's gonna be a 4-on-4. It looks like they're gearing up to for a fight here. No, it looks like MMR Hell does not want to dance right now, and they're gonna politely decline and move down to bot lane where Satat is. So, very interesting strategies coming out of these two teams. Quite consistent, or like quite similar, really, and off meta. Any thoughts there, New Type?
I'm just taking a look. We see MMR Hell's Muradin going for what's a more traditional Muradin build. And as far as just the overall play style of these teams, I am surprised that they're leaving Satat to sort of solo lane. But as I say that, Kyle C. Rat is blown up in the top lane, and it looks like Li Ming may be the next target. Burdick is dangerously low, has got to hustle out. And Balanen and Marvin sort of in the danger zone as well, as Z Mexican is just going to grab that third wind, heal himself up, and is basically just going to be a completely topped off brand new hero in a few seconds.
Yeah, third wind showing its power right here. This is why it's the meta pick. Yeah,
they're doing it again. Satat in the bot lane, getting a decent push going, and then cycling up as his team stalls in the top lane. They stalled long enough for Kyle C. Rat to get onto the point here, and they've got the XP lead. They've got a sizable XP lead, and MMR Hell is going to have to concede this. They have to concede this. Level 10 is picked up by Heroes of the Frat, and this fight just got considerably dangerous.
They're not conceding it. Oh my gosh, what are they doing?
Satat in the back lane, he may go for a... What's he gonna go? What's he gonna get? He got Nova, he got the Poison Nova, gets a great one. Thrall disappears completely. Z Mexican with 2 hit points has got to get out of there, and it looks like Blue Nickels is gonna go down to the poison damage.
Oh,
and, so he should have put more poison resistance into his gear synth. That is a mistake that a lot of D3 players make when they're you do not want to be playing hardcore without poison resistance.
Oh, absolutely not. Yeah, that poison really can do a number on you, and that suicide run really paying off there. Satat really, showing that that Zul's better for the team fights than just rotating. But he has to be careful here. B-Mills is coming in for a little bit of a scruffle.
And that, kids, is why you don't fight versus a level 10 team. Those abilities are so absurdly powerful, and you can just immediately dump them and not care. So level 10 is picked up now by MMR Hell. Our monk player Blue Nickels going Iacona for a little bit there with the alt pick, but does settle on Divine Palm. Very standard picks there. We see Divine Palm, Ring of Frost, Sundering. We see the Maelstrom and the Avatar picked up as well by MMR Hell. Pretty solid stuff. The Punisher has moved on to keep structures in the top lane here, and it's going to go down shortly here. But Blue team has got the first pick. They managed to snipe Muradin, and blood is in the water. We see them just circling the keep wall, or what's left of it, looking for another overextension. One of the members of MMR Hell.
Yeah, absolutely. I really like this 4-man rotation here, leaving Satat to do his own thing. I mean, this is the murky push of old.
They're so dangerous. That 4-man is so dangerous that they have to respect it.
Oh, and that's an excellent
great pick off on the Thrall in mid lane here. What a rotation. They grab that one. You've got to be aware that you see them grab that Merc camp as the Thrall. You run for your life because you know that whole enemy team is coming down the right. They get the middle fort, they get the middle tower, and this game is firmly in Heroes of the Frat's control right now. And the question is, are we going to see another, miracle comeback? MMR Hell take that late game team fight that they need to swing back into favor, or will Heroes of the Frat close this out in 2, as I imagine they're hoping to do?
Yeah, we'll have to see. Don't let that score fool you, though. This is their first game was a lot closer. It was very close, that first game, and MMR Hell actually held their own until the very end, losing just one team fight and turning it around in the opposite direction. And this very well could go the similar way with Satat.
They've got to kill him.
Yeah.
They have got to kill him here. He dodges the Kerrigan combo like a champ. Does manage to survive and link up with the rest of his team. Poison Nova goes out. Great palm onto Thrall, saving Brooklyn Bum from a quick and horrible
B-Mills! B-Mills, that is the wrong direction! Oh my gosh!
Behind enemy lines, he's like,
Uh-oh.
Oh, that's going to be unfortunate there. Gets caught by some pumpkins, and Halloween is over. So, unfortunately, B-Mills is going to have to hang up the costume.
Yeah, no returns at Spirit.
Yeah, no returns. Sorry, the Halloween store is closed. They've already moved out.
Yeah.
But
did you know that Spirit is owned by Spencer's Gifts?
I had no idea that's the thing.
Yeah, little tidbit for you. Anyway, the uselessness continues with Synth's commentary. So, like I said, the
shrine has opened up in the middle lane here, and Heroes of the Frat has taken control almost immediately. They've got the level 13 talent tier advantage. They've got a 3-level stat advantage. I mean, at this point, MMR Hell has got to be looking for a cheeky pick, and they've chosen Satat. Round 2 of the Pick Olympics as Balanan hustles in to potentially get the Ancestral off. Does connect Kyle C. Rat with a miracle Rain of Vengeance, and the turn is real. 2 members down. Red Conscript is possibly going to be the third.
Yep,
and
this might be game.
Disastrous attempt at a gank there on Satat, and the trap was sprung. The trap was sprung around him. Absolutely money Ancestral Heal from Balanan, and this team is showing why they are the top seed of Division 3. They are just, their plays rock solid, their rotations are crisp. They know when and where to support their team members, and they've got a Punisher pushing through mid lane here.
Yeah, wow, that was very impressive. How did Zool live through that? That was it's quite impressive. I have the talent picks here. Shade. Okay, so Shade is really, I think that was very indicative of the strategy that they were going for very early here. Having Shade pick up is very indicative of the methodology that you're going with, and it really showed. It really paid off.
Kept them alive. One more auto attack probably would have killed him there.
Yeah.
So this Punisher is probably not going to get the core unless some more picks go out. But hey, some more picks go out. And Blue Nickel's not long for this world, does Divine Palm himself, but has to hustle out. They do not save the Kerrigan, though, so that is going to be, 5-on-4 for a few seconds here. Great Ring of Frost, though, potentially saving the day. He does manage to kill Zool, which is going to help. Kyle C. Rat dangerously low as well. So MMR Hell, hanging on by the fingertips, manages to stave off elimination for the moment. Z Mexican looking for a potential Stormbolt target, but Marvin does manage to escape in time. And I mean, this is they're in the danger zone right now, Sen.
Absolutely, yeah, hanging on their fingertips, as you said, like Ninja Warrior. So the rotation down to bottom, though, just to try to get some XP, to regroup, to stay together, and actually to get the Merc camps in the bottom. That's actually really dangerous right now. If they have to be careful, because all they have to do is do a 4-on-5 or a 3. Like, they're susceptible to a 5-on-3 gank here. They have to be very careful of the rotations, but perhaps they showed at top. I didn't really see them show.
As much as I like the camps, I feel like you've got to pressure the buildings here. They've got 3 forts, they've got 3 keeps. No damage has been done to the infrastructure of Heroes of the Frat, and you've got to find an inlet to push forward here. And that window has kind of. Oh
no!
Closed.
And Mergen.
Great Ring of Frost, though, does manage to catch the Rhaegar. That's not an ancestral target. Balanan dangerously low. Great Sundering. A follow-up from Conscript does manage to confirm the kill on Rhaegar, but a trade with Jaina does even this fight out. No support, though, for Heroes of the Frat. That damage is permanent. The Tot may go down momentarily here, and MMR Hell getting the fight they need to help potentially win the day. Conscript so dangerously low, though, has got to pull out. And this could be a Punisher going in favor of MMR Hell, and much like our last game, this could be exactly what they need to get back into this fight.
Yeah, I was going to say, and even like I said, an even trade at a level deficit is a pro for your team, and they are actually it was a 2-for-1 on that particular trade.
Jaina's going to be up now, and it's another 30 seconds before Zul is back in the game. So Jaina is going to clear out bot lane. She's going to deal with the last of these siege camp. I honestly feel like Jaina should go and help her team 100% secure the kill at top. They do get follow though. That's a great pickup for MMR Hell. They're showing signs of life. They're going down swinging. They are looking to get back into this game, and they will not be denied. They're gonna pick this Punisher up, barring a big collapse on their end. And this Punisher has potential. It can get that first fort. It can start doing some damage on that keep wall.
And most importantly, they are on even talent tiers at this point.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a Mortar Punisher, unfortunately, which is probably the weakest of the Punishers.
However, I mean, if you can pull into a Mortar stack as Kerrigan, that is a lot of damage that can go out.
Yeah, pretty fair damage.
So, I mean, Mortars are good against buildings, right? By definition. So, we'll see. They do need to make a dent on this infrastructure of Heroes of the Frat, though.
They've got to get in there. They've got to get in there, start working with the Punisher, killing the towers in the wall here, fine and dandy, but they've got to get in there and confirm a kill. They've got to confirm a kill on this next jump. And
no, they're backing up. Uh-oh. Yeah.
So they've got to back up. The Punisher doing virtually no damage. This was a 16-minute Punisher, and it did basically the same amount of damage that the Punisher in the game does. I really feel like having Jaina on, she's on cleanup duty, which is unfortunate.
Oh no, and Z Mexican trying to act as a ward here, but he is not. He is not.
The retreat ping's going out, like just the bail a team out, but Heroes of the Frat gotta be sniffing out. They've got to be sniffing this out. They want blood. So they are going to retreat from this, the Impaler camp here, prevent them from, getting jumped on. They check it. Marvin with the flashlight checks it to make sure there aren't members of MMR Hell there, and both teams sort of reset to their original states. But
Z Mexican really feels like he's Noblesse right there.
Yeah. Oh man, I wish I could feel like I was Noblesse.
Oh my gosh, he's jumping in! He is jumping in!
Going crazy! They get the pick onto Rhaegar. That's a huge kill early on here, but the Poison Nova does so much damage! And Burnicus is looking for the kill, and he's gonna get it. That's 1, that's 2, and the count is even. The count is on. The whole team, MMR Hell, you could add their HP bars together now, and you'd possibly get 1 hero's worth of HP as they retreat to their core, which is being shelled by catapults currently.
Yeah,
it might not be over. So Pot getting picked though. 70 hit points, does manage to survive, and they actually turn it into a kill on Karazim. And this game looks like it might be over here, since
20s
damage pushers with a minion wave and impalers pushing the core. Jaina and Muradin.
If this was 100% core, it would have been a different story, but
great damage going for Tot. He may go down, but it's not enough. Verticus going ham on the core. 10%, 4%, and that's
and that is GG.
Heroes of the Frat taken the second game and the series, moving on to the semifinals.
Absolutely, that was such a great game. Holy crap! Oh, jeez.
Where do we want to start?
Any initial thoughts here? Yeah. Where do we start? First off, I start with clicking the team that won. So, excellent defense from MMR Hell at the 13-16 mark, but just was not enough to, they came back. They almost got to, it was 18-20 at the very end, or 19-20 at the very end, and that was a great comeback, but it was just not enough to defeat or come back from the deficit of 6 buildings remaining. They got one of the buildings down, but they just did not take advantage of the Mortar Immortal Punisher.
That's that's frustrating. That got burned almost instantly, and I feel like against a Punisher of that, with a Punisher of that style, I feel like you had to go and you had to open that wall up immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Like as soon as you feel like you had that Punisher in the bag, you open that wall up because it gives your team an opportunity for follow up. It gives your team an opportunity to make something of that initial leap that the Punisher makes. As it stands, the Punisher jumped over the wall. It grabbed Johanna, I believe, and they, MMR Hell spent the next maybe 6 seconds just killing towers and walls. You want those down before the Punisher gets there. So, not making the most of that Punisher, and the fact that it was a mortar Punisher, the weakest of the three, was kind of unfortunate. But I feel like that did not do them any favors in the late game there. I feel like, this is tough.
Well, one thing that I do want to note here is Karazim actually did not take cleanse at 7.
No, he didn't. He took Echo of Heaven, which I don't particularly care for if you're going Insight, because you're going to be getting W's off more consistently if you go the Insight build. If you have that ability cooldown on every third attack. So you're going to be getting W's out very often, and freeing yourself up for cleanse at 7. I think that's a must if you go the Insight build.
Yeah, I was going to say I was actually expecting the other level 1, the one for health. I'm surprised that we didn't see it, especially with Breath of Heaven at 7.
Yeah, the Transcendence.
Yeah,
no, I like that talent at 7, but at the same time, like I said, if you're getting those auto attacks out consistently, you're deploying your W with more frequency, and that kind of eliminates the need to take Echo of Heaven. I'm surprised, given the melee centric team that they ran, that we saw Blazing Fists at 16 instead of Circle of Life, which increases your heal. Per member that's hit.
Yeah. And
with Thrall, Kerrigan, Murd, and Karazim, that's a pretty sizable potential buff to your healing.
Absolutely.
So that's one thing. Fists of Fury at 13, I think that's fine.
But let's talk about Satat for a second. Zul was excellent.
That was pretty slick.
Split.
I like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the threat that the other 4 members of the team presented to give him the opportunity to go and do the laning that they needed to do. And, Zul soaking up just heaps of XP. Look at the XP number on Zul versus the rest of the team.
Absolutely. Holy crap.
It's almost comparable to the rest of the team added together.
Yeah, it's kind of nuts. And you know what? That actually worked out for them. They had a very hard advantage on the beginning portion of the game, and the first half of the game was pretty much dominated by Zul. Yes, he died a few more times because he was solo rotating, but overall the contributions that he provided way outweighed the detriment of him solo laning. And his sustain build, I mean, Tragul's Essence for the mana, Rathsma's Blessing for the heal, and the Shade just to avoid any gank attempts that we saw there, and then Corpse Explosion just to continue that Corpse Explosion and Skeleton Mastery just to continue that push. I mean, he went full specialist. I mean, that is
he went full specialist. Yeah, that was really that had to be frustrating to deal with, because this guy was everywhere. This Zul was everywhere, just being a nightmare. And Brooklyn Bum was often sent to deal with that, and that left Muradin and Kerrigan without another melee to initiate. It made their 4-man just that much more difficult to play around. And with the pokey, beefy front line of Johanna with Fala and Li Ming behind, like they could afford to just do whatever they wanted. They were able to poke with Vala and Li Ming and retreat under Johanna's shield. And this team, Johanna's not typically seen as a particularly mobile hero, but they were able to make it mobile. They were able to go from lane to lane, do what they needed to do, and give Satat the opening to push and soak as necessary.
Absolutely.
And then when you forgot about him, he showed up behiing your whole team with a Poison Nova.
Oh, that was such a great gank.
Damage.
That was such a great rotation up from Zul. Just suddenly, the moment 10 hit, he was up there. He dropped his Poison Nova, and he was fully expecting to die. I honestly expected him to die for that, but he actually survived it, and the rest of the MMR Hell fell behind that, and that sort of snowballed a little bit in the early mid game there. So it was it was quite crazy. There were a lot of very close team fights. So really, don't let these scores, don't let this 2-0 fool you. These matches were fairly close. Looking at the kill counts, 15-12 on this game, and then the last one, you literally did not know who was going to win.
Yeah, that was a solid game from both teams. We saw excellent teamwork on both ends. Heroes of the Frat, with sort of a plan, with an execution. They bought time for Satat on the Zul, and they were able to keep them alive, keep them in the team fights. They knew when to engage, they knew when to run, and MMR Hell. They were scrappy, man. I thought they were turning it around when they won that one team fight in the top lane. When they got the kills, when they got that Punisher, I was like, this is it. They're out for blood. They're angry. They want it, and it just wasn't meant to be. So
yeah, they got that 2-for-1. They caught up from a 15-18 deficit, I believe. Yeah, it was quite a catch up. It went from 15 to 17 to 18, I believe. And it was just very impressive. Any other talents you want to speak of before we call this a night here?
I'm surprised to see Creed of the Hunter on Kyle C. Rat as well as Manticore, but at the end of the day, Farflight Cliver gave them the opportunity to do the auto attacks, get that in. I know they hit 20 only at the very end there, but the Vala build was very interesting to me. I don't see Creed of the Hunter very frequently. This may be as a result of the recent Vala changes. People are going to get a little more experimentative. We'll see. I was surprised to see full Zay's build from Li Ming. That is a gutsy build.
It's very gutsy.
Given how Kerrigan and Thrall and Karazhan and Muradin can be all up in your face.
Yeah.
If this, when this works, it works. When it doesn't work, it doesn't work, splendidly.
Yeah,
if this didn't work, this would be what we would be talking about. Like, oh man, you have so many melee up in your face. Why would you take W build? But Burticus was able to position sufficiently to get the long range kills, to get the long range picks,
and to get
they
the
only
resets.
died once.
Yeah.
They only died once. So kudos to Burticus.
Absolutely. I'd like to point out one other thing about that. Disintegrate's very dangerous to take with a Kerrigan on the map. You're holding still.
Yeah, you're standing completely still. Like you're asking for having Jaina drop snow on you. You're asking for Kerrigan to jump on you, but Burticus felt pretty good about it, and Burticus delivered. So
yeah, Li Ming showing that the cold never bothered her. So
on that terrible reference, we're going to be checking out here.
All right. Great games coming out of both teams. Congratulations to Heroes of the Frat. They are into the round of 4. If I'm not
semifinals, my friend.
Yeah. Or
let me make sure I'm not totally.
Maybe this was the round of 4.
Nope. This is the semifinals.
Okay.
Next week
is the finals.
The week of 11-14, and there's gonna be the week of the semifinals, and the week of 11-19 is gonna be finals.
Okay, was it round of 16 then round of 8?
Yep, today was the round of 8.
Okay,
so next week's the round of 4, and it's gonna be Heroes of the Frat versus Giant Killer. That match has already been determined on the 16th of November. So buckle up, kids. We got ourselves a heck of a match coming up. We have the number 1 seeded team, Heroes of the Frat, versus Giant Killer, the number 5 seed, going in the semifinals. So,
alrighty,
see how that one goes.
Yeah, definitely tune into that if we're not casting it. And also feel free to follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/synthparadox if you enjoyed the cast tonight. Twitter, Synth Paradox as well. New Type is at New Type 2K6. If I'm not...
That's correct. Both on Twitch and on Twitter. I'm working on getting my Twitch stream up and rolling. But my Twitter is loud and opinionated and silly, so feel free to drop by there.
Absolutely. And with that, and with New Type finishing off the beer from his Stein.
This is good.
Yeah, I know, right? We're going to call that a night. Sorry for the blue screen of death in the middle of the game there. You can never predict, obviously. And with that, we'll see you next week, hopefully.
Cheers.